Hey there, Black Mom Diaries. On today's episode, our guest is a super mom with an incredible superpower for helping others. If you want to know more, you gotta listen in. Up next on the Black Mom Diaries. Hey guys, this is Patricia.
And I am LaTanya.
And we are
the Black
Mom Diaries.
Wait a minute now. We're going to get this together one day, guys. I'm telling you.
No, I was like, because I
Are we dumping? That's what I should ask you before we start. Are we dumping?
We did dump. And then, you know what? I think we were like almost in sync. And then I think we got out of sync. Because I got so excited because I was like, oh, we're doing it. And then, yeah. So anyway, I need to.
The day we get it together, we're just going to like squeal like schoolgirls. Why?
It's going to be like a whole nother level, I think. You know, I always tell my kids they need to discipline their disappointment. I need to discipline my excitement, because had I disciplined my excitement in that moment, we would have gotten it down, I think.
Discipline your disappointment? Come on, do share this.
I can't take that credit. That's Jim Rohn.
Now you got me thinking.
Dude was like, he was on a whole nother level.
Yeah, I need to listen to him.
I love listening. He's funny and he just is such a deep thinker. And I feel like, I don't know, I was going to say he was a deep thinker before his time, but maybe he wasn't. But then, you know, he had Zig Ziglar, and Zig Ziglar was amazing. And I mean, I think like all of the greats probably know those two, especially. I mean, there's a lot of really good people, Les Brown, and I could go on and on about all the incredible coaches out there. And
there are some great ones. I was listening to Les Brown this week.
Yeah, he's so good. And my husband tried to quote him to one of our kids about how when you fall down, it's okay if you land on your back, because you can look, if you can look up, then you can get up, or something like that. You probably did.
He did that speech at my graduate.
That's awesome.
And honestly, I didn't even know who he was back then. This was in 2000. When did I graduate? You know, I was a late graduator, you know. I was just happy just to get out, you know. I was just happy to get a degree. So it was 2007, I think. 2007, 2008. He did the University of Phoenix.
That's awesome.
So he's actually as dynamic in person as he is on. Like, I thought that he was. We have a guest today, though. We will talk all day. We have a guest today.
And the funny thing is, she happens to be in line with what we were talking about, which is interesting because we just that wasn't planned.
Nope, never is.
Yeah, and I was like talking, I was like, hey, this has to do with who we have today.
Yeah, we always in good alignment here.
I love that. I love it.
Yep. So let's see, who do we have there? Tell us who we're going to be blessed with today.
Okay, my pleasure. Gladys is a life coach for moms who are trying to balance their work and family life. She is a life enthusiast who lived in 5 different countries, mastered 2 languages, and changed several professions. It took becoming a fabulous mama for her to tap into some big superpowers within herself. She's a former quiet introvert who today is passionate about helping women live big, beautiful, shooting for the stars kinds of lives right now. Let's welcome into the Black Mom Diaries virtual space, Miss Gladys Simmon. Hey, applause or something. There's my applause.
Welcome in. She's looking amazing, audience. She's a beautiful lady up in here.
Well, thank you. I'm just blushing. You probably can't see it, but thank you so much. What an introduction. Happy to be here today. And you guys have so much energy, laughing myself, listening you talk. And yeah, happy to be here.
It's good to have you here. So thank you so much for being here. Well,
definitely great.
Yeah.
I know we're ready to get started, but I just want to, just something that I heard in your introduction, right? I know I'm breaking the rules, Patricia.
No,
Don't shoot a dart at me or something. I'm just
No.
saying it says you were formerly known as an introvert.
Yeah.
Like I've only heard formerly known as Prince, so.
No, I was a formerly quiet introvert. So I think that was the sentence. I am still introvert, but I'm not quiet. So that's why.
Oh, okay. So you're still an introvert, but now it's like
I'm a loud
here.
introvert.
Okay. I just wanted
to.
I'm learning to discipline my excitement, to quote Patricia.
Hey.
I was listening.
Yeah.
Well, please do not discipline your silence right now.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, we
don't. So she's a former, so I jacked that up. I'm sorry, y'all. She's a former quiet introvert, and now she is a loud introvert.
We just made it up, you guys. We completely made it up. But I like it. Maybe that's something we can attribute to you, Patricia, and brand it loud introvert kind of thing.
Loud introvert. Yeah. Well, you know what? I am an introvert, but I'm really quiet. Only in this situation, because I'm with my girl Latanya, and then it's the Black Mom Diaries house. So I'm comfortable here. And then, of course, we get these amazing guests that I connect with really well. And so, but when I'm out of my element, I am the kind of person that when I go to a party, which I haven't been to a party in forever, but you go to a party and I find that one person and I'm just like hanging with that person or not. I'm just kind of sort of chilling, finding things to keep myself busy. But I am not the kind of person that walks around the room and says hello to everybody, because that makes me so uncomfortable. And my husband is an introvert, if you can believe it or not. And I always say he is the most outgoing introvert I've ever met, because he will walk around the room and be like, bye to everybody. And for me, when it's time to go, I'll say bye to the room from the front door. Bye, everybody. All right, let's go. So anyway,
the only thing I've learned is if you come to the Black Mom Diary, you leave your introvert at the door, because it kind of bring that out of you. That's the only thing I learned.
Right. We bring in the inner powers out. I like it.
Yep. Yeah. So all of you that introverted and listening to us, if you want to know what it is to leave it at the door, come to the Black Mom Diary.
Leave it all at the door.
I just have a theory. I think everybody's an introvert, by the way, but that's just how I think. Because anyway, but let's go ahead. Let's talk about your mom philosophy. Let's see. You're a mom, right, Gladys?
Yes,
right?
I am.
How many kids do you have? How many kids?
I have a fabulous duo. So 2, a little guy and a mini diva.
Yeah. You added a little guy and a mini diva. So these are just, I love my kids, and I know you love your kids, but we always say that mothering doesn't come with a handbook, but it did. So how was your relationship with your mom? And then we're going to jump right into your mom philosophy.
Absolutely. I think you're right. It's almost a full circle, right? So I'm my mom's child, and there's no doubt about it. We sound alike, and apparently we do look alike. Although I think I'm a prettier version of her. Hope you're not listening to this, Mom. But I think I had like a very I would say normal childhood. It was loved. It was, and my mom was like one of those Black mom. Yeah, you discipline, and I felt growing into a teenager that she was way too harsh. She wasn't cool. She was always saying no. So I had the normal teenagehood where I was clashing a lot with her, and then it took me moving away, living away from home to start appreciating, her motherhoodness, right? All the sacrifice she does, all the encouragement she gives. It may have not been given the way I would have listened or heard, but it was always present. And I think now that I'm a mom, I appreciate those, almost boundaries that you put around your children. Yes, they will always try to push and test it, but it's very much appreciated when you go and you think, oh man, I'm glad she was there. So she now that I am a mom, a source of wisdom, comfort. She's my venting partner when things are not going. She doesn't give me as much comfort as I want when I complain about my kids. She's like, yeah, been there, done that, got the t-shirt, back to you.
She's like, welcome to the club, sister.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah.
So do you think so it sounds like your mom's philosophy was that of love, but also a very disciplined structure. Is yours similar to that, or is it different?
I would say mine is a little bit different, but in time you will realize that it's not far off. It is more. So I guess with my mom, she believed that you had to be tough to kind of, create those boundaries and put the fear of God in you so you won't be tempted to go and explore, right? With my kid, I put those boundaries for sure. They are in there, but I want to give them the freedom to explore, to make their own mistake, to learn from those mistakes, of course, in a safe space. Mm-hmm. But I think I'm more letting them explore than my mom was doing with us. So it's a little bit of I think I'm 40% should represent the foundation, and of course, being ourselves, our own person, you add that little extra. Mm-hmm. So I can't be completely her. That can be a different thing.
Yeah, your mom sounds old school, kind of like my grandma, not my grandma, but my great aunt was. She was super old school, and it sounds like they were kind of cut from the same cloth in that. And I know for me, I don't know if this was your experience, but I had that, and that was really all I knew. And, my parents were around, but she was like the main person that raised me. So that was what I knew as when I became a parent. So learning how to really get rid of the things that I didn't want as a mom, use the stuff that I like that she used, but, change it up a bit. That was fun for me to learn. It was a very big learning journey for me. So,
and I wanted to add that it's almost scary to me to see that despite all those little tweak and change, I'm becoming my mom. Almost like full circle. My parents were not always like the traditional parent sense of thing. My mom loved to explore and travel. She would not, hesitate to go on a trip for 3 months because she wanted to satisfy her curiosity. And it was very, very clear to her that she was her. Then she was a mom. Then she was, all those other things. But at the center was her. So it was really clear that when you say, hey, mom needs a minute, it was obvious to us when she needed that minute. So my mom was really, really clear about not losing her identity to one of her many roles. And then I realized that this is, again, part of my philosophy. It's very important to know that I am me. Mm-hmm. And because I take and nurture the me, it can fill out on those other roles that I'm fulfilling.
That I like that. I love that you said that, your mom didn't lose her identity as she became a mom. I think that is so important for a daughter to see, because I think that it is so easy for moms to lose their identity. And the last thing we want as moms is for our children to see that, oh, she's just a mom,
Yeah.
It's good that she was able to show you that she is a whole person.
Oh,
But
and it
Yeah.
continues to these days. She's still
Yeah.
and not making your identity just a mom. And I know it has to be a balance, though. I
Mhm.
think
Yeah.
it's important that they know that there's a balance between you, the person, and then the title of me being a mom. You, the person, can fit into being the person that needs to raise that you need to be to raise your kids. If we were never called moms, you know what I'm saying? I need to still be that person and your mom at the same time. I know,
Right.
I hope that makes sense.
No, it makes total
It
sense.
does.
What is the most challenging part about being a mom? And then finish it with, what do you enjoy most about being a mom?
So I always say that being a mom is the most difficult, challenging, but yet rewarding job I ever had, right? When you ask me what's the most difficult thing about being a mom, like where do I start? How long do we have?
Yeah.
Days,
What comes to
some
mind? What's like the first thing that comes to mind?
I think for me, the first thing is, you literally have your heart outside of your body, like not being able to help and becoming helpless in some situations. When your kid is suffering, maybe illness, or you can't make them comfortable, you can't make the worry go away, or if the child, hurt themselves. Or sometimes when I see with my kids, they had to go to their own experience to learn their own lesson. And it's sometimes hard not to step and remove all the obstacle out of their way. But I just sometimes leave those obstacles and hold myself back, because you want to soothe them, protect them. You want to surround them with everything you can. But at the same time, you have to be that person that guide them. So, that's difficult, not being able to sometimes, help, feel helpless when they're going through things, and it's gonna hurt, but you have, I'm here.
You're gonna be
I'm
okay.
that safety
Yeah,
net, right?
exactly.
So I have to almost override my mom instinct to protect, to cuddle, to mollycoddle, and become you go and try and conquer the world, and go and put your cape and fly and whatever. The most beautiful thing about being a mom, again, it's a long list. It's seeing, for me right now, I'm seeing the world through their eyes. So I'm reconnecting to my inner child, and you start realizing his life is not that serious because a child tells you this is how simple it is. My parents don't live in the same country than and my daughter was asking about wanting to see her granny, and I said, well, there's a virus, there's this global pandemic going on, and plane is complicated. And she's like, we can just rent a private plane and get there. And for people in the audience, I'm not that rich, I have no idea how to know. But it's coming up with those solving ideas as simple as it is. Well, just go and rent a private plane, and we smuggle her out and come here, and it will land in our backyard. And I was like, well, that's actually very simple. So I don't want you to think that I have like some money stashed somewhere, but my kids have big ideas, clearly.
Hey, when my son was a baby, he had this painting in his room, and it said, "Dream big, little one." And I like how your daughter dreams, and I like how she thinks. I like how she thinks, because,
that's rewarding. And seeing yourself through the eye of your children, because you become the de facto role model for them. And sometimes they do things that are like you, and you think, I may have said that word a little bit more often, or I may have exaggerated the way I say things. And it's having a mirror, having a mini you doing things, and you're like, hey, I have to behave now. I can't use a different language in front of them. But again, it's rewarding. It's hard. It's challenging. I wouldn't change it, for the world. But yeah,
right.
that's motherhood in a mix, right?
It is, right? It's like that when they grow up and you see it, you want to stop time, but it's also really exciting because you get to see them grow into this person, this independent person. And so yeah, it's a weird mix for sure. Well, so when you became a mom, because you're all about helping other moms get their lives together, um, did you have like a balance already, or, and did you like work around that balance, or was that something that you had to find?
Oh God, let me tell you. I had no clue. When I had my first baby, I like to say that I came into motherhood with naively, and it's a good and it's a bad thing. I didn't have preconceived ideas, but at the same time, I wasn't prepared. So that makes for amazing experience. I just say amazing because it's better than say it was terrible, but it was amazing because you have those lessons. Before I had my kid, I was one of those that wanted to have like a well-arranged and ordered life, right? So I had my style. I was thinking, yes, I had those plans. I'm going to be a billionaire by 40. I have to be X by Y. Like it was just all arranged. And I liked my life the way it was. Everything was in place and I could do what I want and, everything. And then I got my son. And then like that, everything changed. So me that is really organized and have those plans, then a child, a newborn throws chaos everywhere. Like I thought I could be me then before with just a child, but it's not true.
That doesn't, it rarely works like that. Yeah.
And truly for me, I believe that motherhood unlocks superpowers. There are things, and I would call them dormant superpowers. So they're always in there, but you never find the opportunity to use them fully, right? So before I had my kid, I'm like, I'm super focused. I can do this. I'm determined. Those were my power there. And then you start thinking, man, I have this little boy that I love more than life itself, and I have to be his mom. And I'm saying, there are some women that are born mothers for sure. They have that motherhood instinct. For others, you become a mother, right? It's almost like being thrown into the deep end, and you're like, I never swam, but hey, guess what? I'm going to do any crawling style or whatever I need to swim.
Right.
Right. But you improvise. I never knew I could improvise, that life could be different, that I could embrace chaos, that, I was thinking, I won't be a billionaire by 40, but that's okay. I have all the things I desire in this little boy. And it's truly changing the way, I was telling you about at the beginning, I was a quiet introvert, but I couldn't be quiet for, going and advocate for my son, going and figure out, what kind of care I wanted for him, what kind of person I wanted around him, all those things. I remember interviewing nannies for when I was going back to work, and I took this thing way too seriously. It was like having a list of 25 questions and background check. And that was the part of me that I wanted to control, make sure that everything was fine. But what you do not account for is the love, the care that people give to you or to your child. It's not something you can, find on the resume, quantifying. So I started learning to trust my instinct a little bit more than I was doing before. So I became his mom. And it was just beautiful to see I relax more. I'm more, hey, it didn't happen that I'm a billionaire, but it's okay. I can be something else, right? So
you found your rhythm in your role as a mom and the extension of who you became as Gladys. It sounds like
it gave me a higher purpose than I ever had, because I had someone I that was made it worth fighting for and making bigger plan, big dreams, all the same. I was responsible for whoever that little man will become. Right?
I think that's one of the hardest, challenging part of being a mom is unlearning what you thought a mom was.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? It's unlearning and then learning from the little people that come into your life. Like you got to shut the world out and just be like, all right, this is my child, different from who's ever is on the TV with their child, different from the lady down the street child, right? And just say, I got to do what's best for this little one. I gotta get my life in order to, you know, to raise, like you said, a young man, young woman.
Absolutely. And I don't, this is not a dig intended to those that like to read those books when they're preparing their pregnancy journey or whatever. But I always tell to people, it's cool to read those books because you're prepared, you know what's coming. But nobody has ever written a book about your child. You're the one who's writing it.
So true.
Because the minute that little girl or the little guy comes into your life, they tell you this is how I'm gonna be handled, and this is how, and you just adapt. So no book has ever been written about your child. You're writing it.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Great.
You gotta coin that. I like that.
Yeah, that's
no book
great.
has ever been written about your child. So what you reading that one for? You gotta get aggressive with that one.
I don't want to put a dig on people that love their book. And then if you have more than one child, first you become a referee, not a mom anymore. And the second thing,
word.
That's the truth.
And that's the God honest truth. But the second thing is, again, with the book, you have a different book that you're writing, because those children, although being born from the same mom, same parent, might turn out to be like way opposite. So again, you have those books that you're reading at the same time if you have more than one child. And then you think, I can never read two books at the same time. No, superpower, you can. And then you turn those pages and say, oh yeah, he likes to be handled this way. She likes this way. And you know what works, and it's instinctively coming to you, right? I used to find it crazy, mothers that will hear their kid cry. First of all, you recognize your child cry, whether you are 700 miles away from being aware. And you tell why that child is crying. Oh, he's hungry, he's tired, she's need a nap. And you're like, how can you tell by just crying? People is real. I could tell.
It is. It's crazy too, but yeah. And I just want to say, just like really quick before we move on, that you can never take the whole, when you are putting your children in somebody else's care, that is huge. So, but I love that you said you went with your gut. You went with your gut, and you trust your gut, because I guess you can. I guess you can take it too far, but that's a big deal. That's a big deal, and you want to make sure that you get the right person, because that child is, we're responsible for our children, and we definitely don't want to put them in the wrong hands. So I just want to say that, doing too much for when finding a nanny or a daycare,
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can do
girls. I was having 25 pages of questions printed in advance. Say, can you?
I want a toenail sample. I want a piece of hair.
Right?
I want you to put.
I was that close to the toenail sample, but I was blood sample, toenail sample, like
I'm telling you,
it's like,
I was a complete, like, full 9-yard kind of person.
Yeah, I mean, hey, people put on a good front, so just saying,
I'll be lifting the carpet and say, here, what am I not seeing there? You're literally in the daycare or the nanny's house. So yeah, it was really, really tough.
So staying on this subject just a little bit, I know we have an order of questions, but did you think that had it ever crossed your mind how this would affect you mentally, working and having a child somewhere? Because somewhere where you interviewed or whatever, having them at daycare. Did you ever think before you went in the workforce, and then you had kids, how this would affect you mentally?
No, like I stated earlier, I came into motherhood naively. Like I was so naive about the whole thing. I thought, okay, I'll have a baby. 2 weeks later, I'll be back to my life. I'll be back in my jeans. Like it was just a warm fairy tale in my head, right? So
Wow.
it was, but with hindsight, like looking at it with hindsight there, I thought it protected me with not having preconceived idea, but at the same time, I wasn't prepared. I think I was fortunate enough to have a job that can be work from home. I've been working from home forever. So for me, the criteria was I wanted a nanny that would come to my house so I can still keep an eye. I had the nanny come everywhere, like, what is she doing? And, and then when she was taking my
You had 25 pages for a in-home nanny?
Oh, see, you
Oh my
get
gosh.
it. I was completely crazy, right? I was just like, no, I need to get
Oh, wow.
Well,
Well,
you
it was
also
Okay.
have to be careful who
wasn't
you bring into
25
your house.
pages.
Just saying, but
Yeah, I know. But
No, I'm just
I was thinking, what was the best, way I can mitigate? I was new at this motherhood game. I was going back to work, and I didn't want to. Like at the time, I didn't realize it was mental health. I was just thinking I need to be in control. I need to minimize the impact of this. So I want someone at home, and I could monitor what was going on, and I was still breastfeeding, so it was practical for everything. And then I remember the first time she took him out for a walk on his palm, and I was just like dying. She went for like 40 minutes, and it felt like 3 hours in my head. I was ready to call the police. I was like, where's her background check? Who is it? It was hard. Before having a kid, I was just a self-reliant machine, right? So I could trust myself, I could do things, I rely on myself, all those things. But then you have a child, and you have to start creating a trust circle that extend your reach. So it was really hard for me to extend that trust. And then when he went to daycare, it was like a year plus. And I remember crying at the parking lot, like, man, I left my child to people that I have no idea who they are, just because they have a sign at the front door. So it was definitely tough. And now that I know better, I'm thinking, man, I was probably having a nervous breakdown without realizing it because of expectation that I put on myself that were not realistic. Because it was tough. I lived in a country where I had not my mom, not my in-law. I was alone with my husband, and it was just us. And he was looking at me like, I had never done this thing before, but I, rely on you to make this work and tell me what to do. And I was still figuring out things myself. So it was a lot of pressure thrown at me at the same time. And I didn't stop to think. I just thought, I need to control, I need to minimize that impact. I need to go back to my previous life where I was doing this and that, but now I have to think about him as well, my son. So anyways, it was tough. But I was oblivious. So I went through it. I probably need years of therapies now, but yeah.
That's interesting that you said, you look back and you had a lot of pressure on yourself from yourself, but you just got through it. And I mean, again, I'm going back to this because this is why we're here. You're working with moms now, and you're helping them get their lives together. So at what point did you, I guess, get to the point where you were okay mentally, or you felt okay mentally, and then you thought, okay, I need to help other moms handle their life as well?
So my first baby, I think I had that feeling of being utterly alone. Like Latanya said, you see moms in the street and magazine, everybody's super like in control, happy, the baby is stress-free. And I'm like, man, I'm doing something wrong here, right? No, my son is he was an amazing baby. But I was juggling so many balls and I was slipping. Some were falling because I couldn't be everything I wanted to be at 100%. So I had to learn to make concession what was giving, and I wanted to be the mom, the worker, the wife, the friend. I wanted to have everything, but I had to learn to say what is priority now, and how can I add this into the circle. So I think it was tough because I thought I was alone in that struggle. I didn't know. I was ill prepared. I was completely naive. And then when I had my second baby, it was a different experience because I kind of knew what to expect. Here in Canada, you can take a 15-month mat leave. I took a year. That helped a lot. With my son, I took 3 months, and I realized that it was way too soon to go back.
Oh.
I was all over the place. So with my mini diva, I took a full year out, and that I start realizing, oh, because I have that space, like almost a plane that was going to take off, you have to have the runway first. My runway was way too short with my son. And with my daughter, it was a little bit longer. So I had time to, settle, enjoy both my children. And I remember my son, at the time he was 3, say, I like this mom better, because I realized that he never saw me relax. I was always stressed, rushing, going somewhere. That's all he thought his mom was. Someone that was always rushing, someone that was always, and he never questioned it because that's all he knew. And then when he saw me slow down, actually being there for him when he was coming from daycare, walking to him, that he's like, I like this mom better. Can she stay? And that start thinking, oh my God, what kind of role model was I for this guy? And then I start talking to other people, other moms, because you have 1 year, you go to the park, you have time. And I realized I wasn't an isolated case. There's a lot of women that was feeling that way. And I thought it's something I'm super passionate about. And it breaks my heart when I see a young mom, not by age, but young in her journey in motherhood, that is struggling and feel like she can't talk to anybody. She can't have that safe space to say, I'm struggling, but I'm going to be all right. I just want to have that minute when someone is supportive and someone says, I hear you, I walk in your shoes, and I can tell you it's going to be fine. And that's how that started that conversation in my head. How can I, have that safe space for people to say, yeah. And of course, around my friends were also new moms or having babies, and naturally they will come to me and say, well, I just want to sleep for 2 hours and vent and then feel better and then go. And then I thought, maybe I can, really focus on working mom, because I can bring my own experience and expertise. I can tell you I walk in those shoes, and I don't have a magic wand, but I can tell you, you know what, you putting way too much pressure on yourself. Forgive yourself. You can't be the perfect mom. It's an illusion, but you can be a good mom.
Listening to you, it sounds like you don't really know this is happening when you're in it. Like you said, you didn't realize that this was happening until your son said, Mom, I like this mom. I like, but for a person like that doesn't know, how can they bring awareness? How can they bring awareness to, I might need a Gladys? Like, where is that tipping point that you recognize that?
So I would say it's absolutely a great question. There are people out there like me that are completely oblivious until they hit them on the face. And there are people that are blessed to get those signs. So I would say start to know yourself first. Have those tough conversations with you. Is it that you're not coping and you feel like you're sleeping because it's the control that you want to have back? Are you missing your old life? Is it adjusting? I realized that I was like, hey, I need that 25-page to interview nannies. I have to be the top employee, the top mom, the top everything. But I was continuously exhausted, and I never took time to do like an internal check and say, are you okay? You, Gladys, are you okay? I was just saying myself to, I'm a good mom, I'm a good employee, I'm a good wife, I'm a good worker. And, I never sat down and asked myself, how are you? So those know yourself intimately moment, that's what I'm recommending. You know yourself. Is there something that you do way too much or way less? Just have those, and then ask people that are close to you, because they will give you that honest conversation, those intervention moments if you seek for them. You say, my son told me that it was totally unexpected, and I realized, but my husband was telling me, relax, you're taking it too far. And I'm like, but I have to take it far because, you are, if I don't do this, and you're like, that's okay. I will go, my son will not, sleep one night, and I will exist on 2 hours sleep and expect to go and do like meeting after meeting. Like it was not, I wasn't giving myself grace. So I'm just saying, you have a support system around you, meaning people that know you, that will tell you, hey, you are just a little bit, just listen to them and then ask yourself tough questions. It's not an easy process, and it's not easy to find out. If you are blessed to know yourself intimately and know, yeah, I'm a bit there, then you're good. If you, like me, you're oblivious, it's also a blessing not knowing where you're going into, because it will prevent you to go into it. But once you're in it and you feel like you are just spiraling a lot, stop, pause, breathe, ask yourself those questions, and ask around you those questions. If you keep listening to the same thing, slow down, rest, or whatever, just take that seriously.
Okay, so what I hear you saying is that if you hear a couple of key things repeated over and over, then you should take a step back and kind of say, I might need a little help with this, right? Because I'm thinking about exposure at this point. And the people that listen to us, I love to give them practical things, and that was very helpful. Thank you so much. But a lot of the times we don't know, because everyone around us is doing the same thing. Everybody, even in our circle, I know in homeschooling, I would go to meetings and all of the moms, whether we knew it or not, we all had this same little underlying thing. And we were all like looking for help in each other, but we were like, I don't know how to help you because I'm going through the same thing. And growing up, I did not know that I already know. I know my auntie or my mom did not know that there were people, and maybe there were back then, that could help like you could, that can shine the light on, look, you don't have to live this way. So the exposure is something that I think about, like moms just don't know that we need help. Like we just don't realize because we're the helpers.
And that's conditioning. And Latanya is a really good point. We condition to care, to put everybody's need before ours. And you talk about your mom, your aunt, my grandmom. They were taking pride in having everybody else pass before theirs, right? Their need. I know mom that go hungry because they don't have enough food for their kid, and normalize that, right? I'm not saying you should not eat and let your kid starve, but it shouldn't be a normal occurrence. What I'm saying is, in your group of
if I'm hungry, you can't eat. Like I am not well. Come on now. I need to eat first.
If mama's not well, nobody's well.
I'm serious. Man, you
guys that are listening to it, disregard that. So those ladies will give food to their kid and not eat. But okay, I get the point. It shouldn't be normalized. That's what I'm saying. But what I was gonna say, to your example, Latanya, when you say you're homeschooling and all those mother, we're talking and say we have that underlying problem. But the one thing that you had then, it's a group of people and the feeling of being part of something. I think the major problem is people feel alone with that problem. So you had a group, even if you didn't know where to go, do not underestimate the power of being in a group and belong to something. And I know everybody does the same thing, but even talking, even you have a girlfriend and you go and vent and say, I hate this and I hate my life and I hate my, my husband, my kid. You don't walk away from that life, but you feel way better because you know someone that hear you, walk in your shoes, can understand and not judge you, right? So that power of being in a group, it's the first step. There are moms that are feeling all those and they are alone. They have no one to go and talk to. They're scared of people judging them. They're scared of a lot of other things that you didn't have in your group. And yes, now someone has to push a dynamic and say, what do we do about this problem? Because, like there's different stage of going through grief. You have to accept that you have a problem, admit that first. I have a problem. And that's hey guys, there's a problem. Then you need to have to seek to say, do I want to live with that problem or do I want to, move on and move forward with that? So different stage, but being in a group and knowing that you're not alone is definitely a massive step.
And see, you just really did a little coaching there. I know
I
you,
did?
yeah, you did. Because like I'm telling you honestly, like I don't see it. I don't see it. How should I know what's going on? When do I know I need you? And then you gave me steps to know that one, hey, look, this is something that's being repeated to you. You need to handle this. You got to do something about it. And then you told me, hey, you got a group of people around you. You're not alone. And you can handle this. You can do this. So now I'm sitting here thinking like, what do I need help with? Because this is awesome. You just gave me 3 things to look at. And even if you're not around a group of people, you're like, go get you some friends. You know what I'm saying?
That's when you know you're good, friends, when you're doing it and you don't even realize it. It just comes out natural.
That's right. That was natural. That was really natural. Y'all give it up for Miss Gladys. That was awesome.
I have nothing but love for you too. So hence why it comes freely, right? So there you go.
I have the love is mutual. And I just want to say, like, you are a super mom with superpowers. But let's not get it twisted. I just want to be clear, because I think when people say super mom and she's got superpowers, it's because she does it all and she doesn't rest and she doesn't need rest and she can go to work and work 40 hours or more a week and come home and do everything around the house and then be out and do everything else in the community. But that is not your superpower, and that is not what makes you a super mom. So tell us, because I see it, but tell us again for the audience, for the ones in the back, so that it's very clear why you're a super mom and what your superpowers are.
I was gonna say, I am a super mom because I am a super mom. You have to start with I am, right? I am a super mom, and it's living it, is embodying it. But I was gonna say the power is not about doing everything well and making sure everything is like all under control. There's power in admitting your vulnerability, saying,
ooh, preach, girl, preach.
So let's really find the power here. Like, people see power as like being strong. There's power in saying, I am not well, I am not strong, I need help. That is power as well. So I am a super mom because I am, and I'm also a super mom because I can tell at this point, I need help. I need a pause. I need a moment. I am not feeling well. I need to charge those batteries again. So yeah, that's the super mom in me. And being able to say, I want to be part of a solution and not being just venting about a problem, because I have little ones that look up to me. And I haven't chosen to be their role model, but I am their role model. Mm-hmm. And they see the life through my own experience. And I put upon myself to create and craft experiences that I could say, yes, I'm scared of doing these new things. It's scary, but I will do it anyway, right? And by the way, for those that are looking for a life coach to stretch them out of their comfort zone, I'm that girl. I'm creatively stretching people out of their comfort zone, including
Hey,
myself.
You just stretched me. I love that.
I
I
know.
am.
So,
I am because I
yeah,
am. Well, I'm gonna be telling
yeah.
people that in the
Yeah.
store. I'm gonna be
Oh,
like, "Who
you
are
should.
you?" I
It's
am. Y'all
it's a
don't
fun game.
understand.
Yeah, it's a fun game. You know, when you go to the store and the cashier say, "How are you today?" I'm like, "I'm perfect," and they say, "You are." You're like, "I am."
You better get it. That's what's
Yep.
up, y'all.
Embody it. I love
I
that.
am.
I
Mhm.
am
Take it.
because I am. It's
I
something
am
that you
because I just
embody.
am.
Yes,
I love
and
that.
so with my daughter, she's 4, and we do those positive affirmation game.
Mhm.
And I can tell you, if you do it way too much, your child will come with the ego the size of the world. My daughter says, "I am pretty, I'm beautiful, I'm smart," and
Mhm.
she's like, "Because I know everything, because I do." So I'm
Yeah,
like,
my daughter's
okay,
like that.
But
Mhm.
you know what? It's good. You know, it's good to have your children with such confidence, because I think that, you know, like you said, you want to be able to protect them. I think that confidence really helps with that, because when
yeah,
they go out into the world, there are so many people ready to tear them down for whatever reason. And I mean, we've addressed this before. People in the world will try to tell your children, our children, who they are,
yeah.
and you need to stay in this box.
Mhm.
But if they know who they are and they are so built up because of us helping to build them up, when they go out there, that's not going to matter. And they're going to be able to close off the negative speak that people try to tell them, and also ignore when people are like, this is who you are. They can either say whatever, or they can say, no, that's not who I am. I'll tell you who I am, or you're welcome to see who I am. You can have a front row seat
Yep.
if you're
Mhm.
on your best behavior.
But you know what I just thought of? It's great. That was a great point, Patricia. And you know what I just thought of with the word I am? I am doesn't leave room for anybody else. I
No.
am is you.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all let that soak in for a second. Like, get you a biscuit right now. When you say I am, that's not everybody else. That is you. And you, man, okay, listen, I'll be going on forever. But you know, y'all see what I'm saying. That's great. I love it.
I love it. Me too.
And then I was gonna say the beauty of the I am statement, you can put everything word that you are behind this.
Mm-hmm.
I am, you know, I am fulfilling my purpose. I am driven. I am strong, whatever. And you instantly become that. If you do it enough, I say fake it till you become it, you will realize that without even knowing it, you
Mm-hmm.
are that person. You are wisdom, you are superpower, you are beautiful, you are strong, you're smart, you're capable, you are enough. All
That's
right.
so true. I know
Y'all go
I
get
will
y'all
give
some
one
Gladys.
example. My husband, I said he's a an outgoing introvert, but one of the things that he did not enjoy doing was talking in front of groups of people. And he would get so nervous, and I would get uncomfortable for him, because I would watch him and it just was he looked very awkward because he felt very awkward. But he started telling himself, I am an effective communicator. And he started telling himself this, I don't know how long ago, but it's so interesting. And he brought this up, and it's true. Like a few days ago, he brought this up to our son. He said, when I started saying that to myself, I started getting speaking engagements. People would come to me and ask me to speak at events. And it's so true. And now, I mean, that we're virtual, he's been in panels and he's been in conferences as a speaker. And it is just so incredible to see this man that I know as an introvert just confidently speak his truth about whatever he's talking about to these people. And I mean, so that's so true. You start saying I am, and you will believe it. And I think
Yep.
also, like, with that, it opens things up for you.
Yes, it
So
absolutely does.
yeah.
I'm so proud of your husband for that, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, me
I think
I'm
he's a
too.
great
giving
guy.
my little
I
clap
know.
for
I
him.
I
know. I'm proud
will.
of him for
Yeah.
that. That's awesome.
Yeah. But so we already know, Gladys, that you're the girl. You're the woman. You are the woman to help other moms get their lives together and create. And we talked before this, and you mentioned like with the work-life balance, you don't really like that phrase. You call it something else. But you help moms with that, whatever their definition of that is, work-life balance, whatever it is to them.
Mhm.
So if somebody listening is interested in getting in touch with you and learning these tools and the tricks of the trade to becoming their best mom self, or not even their best mom self, but their best self, how can they do that?
So it's very simple. I'm trying to keep things super simple. We're all moms. We don't want like 600-700 steps to get to the question, right? It's just like, hey. So I do have my website. So it's www.mylifecouch.com. And it's not like life coach is couch. So I explain why I chose couch. First coach was already taken, but kidding aside, I start looking around at what piece is in everybody's home. And you look around, you're listening, you're probably sitting on the couch right now. So a couch, it's in everybody's home. It can be the centerpiece, it can be the back blending in the background, but it always is the witness to our most intimate moment, evolving emotions. So when you're happy, you go on the couch, you probably jump on the couch like Tom Cruise. But when you're sad, you cry on the couch. Or when you want some big old comfort, you go on your blanket on the couch. So that is that place that's always there. So I wanted my coaching practice to reflect that, to say this is that safe space where you will come, whether you're looking for a little bit more of a boost in your joy, if you want to share your sadness, if you want some comfort, this is the couch. So it's the perfect fabric, the perfect color, the perfect size for you to nest. And you have me cheering you up all along, stretching you out of your comfort zone, but just giving you that other perspective, because sometimes we engulf in doing things and we do not see this until someone else come and say, hey, here's where we can tweak these things different. So nothing will be done against you. Everything will be done with you in mind. So that's my life couch, my website, and I have some resource. I do some videos, some blogs, some musing, some thought about, my take of being a mom. And then I have my LinkedIn, which is Gladys Simen on LinkedIn. And I'm usually, this is my quick thought. Something fun happened with my little diva, or something happened, but it's just more the thought of a working mom. So that's the thing. I just recently started Instagram. I confess on your podcast, I have no idea what I'm doing there. But I have an
Yeah.
Instagram, my life couch. And so for all of those that are Instagrammer there, you go there, give me some love, because I'm just like, I don't know how this thing will work, and trying and testing, getting out of my comfort zone with social
Mm.
media here.
Mm-hmm.
And that, what's the Instagram?
At my life couch. I think
At
I
my
say
life
that.
couch.
Yeah.
Man, we about to throw a cash app up here. You just gave us lesson after lesson
I
Oh
after
my
game.
know.
God.
Like I feel like I'm robbing you at this point. Like you just all the things that you just said. I like got my notepad down.
Woo.
Yeah.
So see, the size of my head is getting bigger and bigger, Patricia. I don't know if you can see that, but
It's her hair that's
You
getting bigger,
deserve
not
it.
her head. And that's where she
You
keeps
deserve
all of
it.
her tools and her tricks and her secrets that she's willing
You
to
deserve it.
share with everybody.
yeah.
No.
You deserve it. We deserve to give props where they're supposed to be. Like I ain't mad at you, sis.
Mm-mm.
I ain't even upset. I'm like, yes, I'm so glad you're out here spreading this and letting us, telling us to be aware that we can improve our work-life balance. But even if you're not a mom, there's
Mhm.
people who say, girl, I was laughing at this lady the other day. She was like, I'm a puppy mom. And I'm looking at her like, how stressful can this be? And then she started showing us videos of her two puppies, and one's a puppy, and then one's a older dog. And I'm like, oh yeah, boo, you you got kids.
Yep.
You got
pretty
some children
much
up in there.
And,
So
and she probably have to take them out every single day, where you can put your kids to bed by 8 if you're lucky, I guess.
yeah. Man, this has been a
Exactly.
treat today. I could talk
It
to you
has
forever.
been. It has
I
been.
could.
And you can. She gave her Instagram, she gave her LinkedIn, she gave her
Everything, yeah.
website.
Come and say hello at my live couch, and then I'll hook you up. We'll talk.
So, well,
Love it.
guys, thank you guys so much for listening. And Gladys, thank you for coming
Oh,
to
thank you.
the Black Mom Diaries and visiting with us today. This has been such a treat.
Yes,
I love what you guys are doing here, and this far has been the most fun podcast I've been on.
Hey.
So thank you.
Yay.
And for any mom that is listening out there, you're not alone. You are worthy. You are enough. You are a good mom. And for those that are fellow introvert and quiet now, and you want to get that introvert outside at the door, come to the Black Mom Diary. Those guys are awesome. They make me laugh. Also, I don't think it was the purpose. But you guys have been fabulous. I'm so happy. I came to your diary and your house, and amplify that message. We need love. Moms are exceptional people. Let's amplify those voices.
Awesome. That was the nugget of the day, y'all. That was the nugget of the day. I'm speechless because I'm just marinating in this good vibe. That's what it is. And people know I love to talk.
You owe me a cake. I know you can't bake, but comfort zone.
Wait a minute. Why you telling my business, gal? Gladys? Wait a minute. Hey, wait.
I know things. So yeah.
So when I get up there,
forget.
when I get up there, when I come up there, I will bake you something, some lactation cookies, because I could bake those. They taste good.
I was like, wait a minute.
I was like, are you trying to tell me something?
No, but they taste good. They really do. The dad, I was making them for a lady, and the dad was eating them. And I mean, they were like, these are the best cookies I've ever tasted. So
but
I'll make you some lactation.
I was going to say the dad, so there's no reason for me.
Yeah. I know.
It's not going to work if you're not
stuff that makes moms lactate, and this just make a regular cookie.
It's not going to happen unless she had a baby. No, but they're really good. I'll make you some lactation cookies. I'll call them something else if you think.
Yeah.
If you think you're just going to start watering your kids out. No, we're not going to do that.
It's on record that she's going to bake cookie for me.
It is
I am.
Lactation. Yeah, I can use it against you.
Well, y'all, like LaTanya said, we could go on and on in the Black Mom Diaries virtual house. It's always like this. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you want to get in touch with us, reach out to us at blackmomdiaries@gmail.com. If you have any feedback for us, if you have questions, comments, concerns, if you want to be on the show, reach out to us at that email. And if you want to follow us, because, we want to get social with you, get social with us. You can search for us on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. We're easy to find. Just search Black Mom Diaries. And of course, on any of the podcast networks, leave us feedback because we want to hear from you, right?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
We do. Hook us up, guys.
So until next time, I am Patricia, losing my voice.
And I am LaTanya.
Hey, she is.
And I am Gladys. Also,
hey, come on in. Come on in.
Yes. So thank y'all for listening to the Black Mom Diaries.
See you next time.
Thanks so much for spending this episode with us. And if you like what you heard, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And of course, be sure to join us on the next episode of the Black Mom Diaries.